Wow, a lot of expectations. I hope I'm going to be able to stand at this very high ref. First of all, thank you very much for all of you to coming over here. I believe what we're talking about in this convention yesterday, that by the way I heard was amazing, is the most, or one of the most important topics in humanity, in saving the planet that we live on. And if you don't mind, I want to start with a few questions. Who in this audience arrived to this convention today with his own vehicle, transportation? Go ahead, folks, pick up your hands. Don't be shy. Who arrived to this convention at shared public transportation? Nice. Okay, I think the message is taken, so I can stop the conversation at this moment. But if you don't mind, I'm going to continue on. What do you think is the largest environmental challenge that we're tackling today, and not only in Israel, worldwide? Wow, you're sleeping. It's air pollution. I don't know if you know, air pollution is the leading environmental hazard or risk that is causing the most early mortality and illnesses across the globe. Just in the state of Israel, 2,100 people die an early death every single year, and 1,000 experience illnesses, blood, lung, cancer, heart, and so on, just from air pollution. Do the extrapolation to the world, and you get a humongous problem. Now, I want to go ahead and ask you, what is the key driver of air pollution? We just heard it's a very tough problem. It's influencing our health, our lives. What is the main driver of air pollution? Industry, electricity production from coal, transportation, fires in open spaces. What do you think? There you go, transportation. I wouldn't mention it if I wouldn't be in a convention of transportation. And what in transportation is driving the most air pollution? Buses, trucks, vehicles that run on diesel. Diesel vehicles are the main driver of air pollution. So bottom line, diesel transportation, polluting transportation is the biggest problem in air pollution and environmental issues that at the end of the day is causing people to die early, is causing people to experience very bad illnesses. And we need to remember that 80% of the air pollution is coming from the heavy-duty diesel transportation vehicles that we all use, business people use, et cetera, et cetera. So why is this air pollution so bad? We talked about health. In addition to that, I have to add traffic jams. You all think the traffic jams are bad because it influences your quality of life. You think that it's only bad because it influences the lack of productivity and efficiency in the state of Israel's economy that is very low. We all know that. It's low also because we spend a lot of time on the road, and we're losing time on the job and efficiency. But we have very clear evidence that traffic jams create heavy-duty air pollution. If you work or live by a road that has traffic jams, you're suffering from a higher level of air pollution. Because when a vehicle drives slow, stops, go ahead, stops, go ahead, stops, go ahead, that is influencing your health, that is influencing your kids' health, your grandchildren's health. That is something that is very bad. So when you look at this situation, you're seeing that a unique situation, economical drive, health issues from environment are colliding, are the exact same interests. Doesn't always happen. So that's the second thing. The third thing is greenhouse emission. Greenhouse emission that cause climate change are driven also by transportation emission. In Israel, it's second to production of electricity by coal. In the United States, it's first. The United States is a country that produces a lot of electricity from coal, very bad. But still, transportation is the first cause for greenhouse emission, and that is causing climate change. Now, climate change, if you don't mind me saying, is not a dream of tree huggers and earth eaters. It's here today. We're experiencing floods that all of you are part of and you heard of. We're experiencing extreme weather events that you all experience. We're experiencing new types of pesticides that we have to handle in the state of Israel because of the change in climate. You all experienced it in the last summer. That is also caused by emissions that are driven by transportation. And last but not least, noise. The most common complaint by citizens of the state of Israel, and by the way, not only in the state of Israel, is noise driven by transportation. And that's quality of life. So, we're influencing health, we're ruining the globe by climate change, and we're ruining our quality of life by noise. These are all significant issues, significant challenges that all of us in this room and a lot of people that didn't wake up because it's a sabbatical today, and we need to tackle. Very, very important issue. So I'm happy to say that in the last few years, the Ministry of Environmental Protection revolutionized transportation at the state of Israel. 2 days from now, 1st of November, a law, an act that bans the usage of heavy-duty diesel cars is coming into action. And this is an historical move. It was never done before. We were able to pass this legislation. In addition to that, we're subsidizing scrapping old heavy-duty diesel vehicles. We are subsidizing the deployment of particle filters on these air-polluting vehicles. For the first time, we subsidized electrical buses that are already running in the state of Israel, the infrastructure for these buses, and we're continuing on and growing this amount. We subsidized shared electrical vehicles that are running already in Haifa, going to run in Netanya soon, and we're expanding this across the state of Israel. We subsidize activation of low-emission zones. Haifa already operating, bringing amazing results in reduction of black carbon and other pollutants from transportation. It's working. That means that cities in the state of Israel are not going to be allowed to be entered by polluting vehicles. Jerusalem is going to start very soon. Hopefully in this metropolitan, going to start very soon. These are all actions that are basically leading the state of Israel to have cleaner vehicles. Our Ministry of Energy already announced by the year 2030, no polluting vehicle is going to be allowed to be sold at the state of Israel. This is a greater revolution. But don't kid yourself, this is not enough. This is just the beginning. It's not even close to be enough. The next thing that we really need to focus on is transforming all of the transportation in the state of Israel. How do we move from one place to another? We need to reduce the amount of vehicles that we have on the road. If we do not reduce the amount of vehicles that we have on the road, air pollution is not going to be solved. Traffic jams and productivity of the economy is not going to be solved. We have to start influencing the amount of vehicles that we have on the road. And when you talk about that, that is a big revolution. It's an infrastructure revolution, vehicle revolution, management revolution. We need to move to shared public transportation. And that is something that we're not there today. You just saw the hands that were raised as I started speaking. So I want to take a moment and draw the future. I want to talk about what's the strategy and how is transportation going to look like at the state of Israel, because all of you can take part of this revolution. And you're going to see along the line, as I draw this new model, new architecture that is going to happen in the next few decades, there's a significant opportunity. It all starts with transportation metropolises. We need in Israel to shift from every municipality managing its own transportation to having 3 or 4 metropolitans that manage their transportation together. Economy of scale, demand and supply, smart management. This is the base of the entire revolution that I'm talking about. Second, is this creates 3 types of transportation. The first one is the long range. As much as you can say long range in Israel, with all due respect, living in the United States for a few years, it's a bit of a joke saying long transportation in Israel or long range transportation, but we do have that. And that is connecting between the metropolises. At first, this is going to be electrical buses. Simply, the infrastructure that is required is not as intensive, and that's why the change could be faster, and that's why at first we're going to have a very smart, very agile, very on-demand, smart buses system that can take from one metropolitan to another. Second is going to be trains that are going to be clean, that are going to be smart, that are going to be managed on demand. And you can start imagining technology that we don't have today. On-demand charging as you go, maybe flexible and agile types of railroads, different multi-dimensional railroads, etc. All of that are stuff that you're going to invent. You're going to invent and going to help creating this revolution. So that is the first type of transportation. Second type of transportation is inner metropolitan or inner city, basically connecting between the cities that are within this metropolitan and different places in the city. Again, needs to be different types of vehicles, clean vehicles, smart and agile and knowing to respond to demand as you get the call, as you see where there's more people that you need to transport in order to be very efficient. This is all going to happen in the next decades. Third type of transportation is last mile transportation. And I want you not to forget that. When I came into the Ministry of Environmental Protection, I laughed at bicycles. I thought it's stupidity. It seemed to me like a good gig, maybe sexy, but not something serious. I learned that it's extremely serious. The last mile transportation, if we don't make it efficient, easy, on-demand, flexible, available for the different use cases that people want to use, whether it's a sunny day or a rainy day, whether you want to go alone or with someone else, whether you want to buy groceries or buy a table, you're going to have to get a different type of last mile transportation. And if we don't create these new vehicles, these new types of software that are going to manage this, we're not going to provide the infrastructure, this entire revolution is not going to happen. Because remember, we're talking about metropolitans, connecting between the metropolitans, and we're talking about transportation within the metropolitans in the city, and we're talking about the last mile transportation. So folks, take what I just now described, go back home or to your hotel room, draw what I just now described, and ask yourself, where's the opportunity for you in this entire production chain? New businesses, new business models, new types of vehicles, new types of management software that is going to be able to manage this flexibility and agility and on-demand, et cetera, new type of infrastructure for charging, new types of everything. This is a tremendous amount of opportunity that I think no one here that is a real business person cannot ignore. Now, if you ask me, every single shekel that we are investing today in a road is a wasted shekel. And from here, I'm calling Israel Katz, Minister of Transportation in the State of Israel, to remember that. Every single shekel that we are investing in a road and not in smart, managed mobility and transportation is a waste of public money. Folks, if you, all of you, can be part of what I now talked about, invent the next vehicle, the next charging mechanism, the next software that is going to manage the on-demand train, buses, inner transportation, last mile transportation, you're going to be part of something amazing and great. Not just another technology revolution. I used to be a high-tech CEO, and I know that when there's disruption, there's opportunity. When there's disruption, there's opportunity. This is a huge disruption. But it's not just another disruption in a technology opportunity, in a business opportunity. This is an opportunity to save lives and improve health. And in my perspective, there is nothing more important for any individual to be part of saving lives and improving health. So all of you, get out of these very comfortable chairs, go out there, think, how do you make this happen? Make this happen. Thank you very much and have a great day.